Hey cuties, PeachY here, welcome back to a new video, and in this video we're going to talk about whether or not Mermaze Mermaidz could get cancelled. So this was first brought to my attention via this meme by @theDollDaddy on Instagram, where it depicts, Mermaze Mermaidz is like riding a bicycle and then charging $100 for a single salon playset and then cancelled, so because they fall over. So this already, I was like, what? Wait, hang on, let's rewind. Is Mermaidz canceled? What is happening? But I actually checked out their story at the time to see if there was more information, and yes, there was this tweet. I'm assuming it's a tweet from Twitter from the same user that identifies as @dollgirlylicious on Instagram, saying no new collection since July, slumber party pushed to fall, sirens canceled, no updated social media since November, and then RIP to Mermaze Mermaidz. So right off the bat, this is not confirmed. It is just speculation because of all the things I just listed. So immediately I was like, hang on, I'm pretty sure that the account on Instagram has posted something since November, but I checked and indeed that's not the case. The last post was in November, and it was about the latest episode, and ever since there has been no updates, no stories, no new posts, nothing, nada. It's silent. The account has gone silent for 2 months now, and when you're running a business or a brand on social media, you know that you're not supposed to leave one day out without some kind of, feed or updates or new posts, or, you want to keep your update refreshed and new and relevant. But so even just one day or 1 week might be not okay. So for them to just leave the Instagram account for Mermaze Mermaidz absent for 2 months is definitely not a good sign. So the no social media activity is definitely not a good sign again. And also on YouTube, there hasn't been any new updates, any new clips, any compilations, videos, episodes, or any news for a future season. Nothing. There have been no updates on YouTube or Instagram whatsoever. So let's talk about the other factors that might attribute, that might factor to the cancellation of Mermaze Mermaidz, which are the no new collection since July, which, that is true, but July, and then that was in summer, so winter waves, and then we got the salon playset, which I think was the most recent release, which was expensive. But I believe the salon that they referred to in the meme, which cost $100, but I think now you're able to find it for cheaper. But $100 is definitely really expensive for one salon playset, even with the hydration feature that bubbles up and stuff. So yeah, there have been no new collections, no new dolls since Winter Waves, which is a little, peculiar, but also maybe we're just all so used to the way that Rainbow High and OMG dolls get released so fast and quickly that we're just not used to, with Mermaze Mermaidz, they release one collection per year. We got the first series core, then we got the special edition dolls with Mora and Aura, and then we got Winter Waves for last year. So it seems that they want to keep one collection per year at least, and then some separate special edition dolls, just kind of releasing whenever. So maybe that's just how they want to do it for Mermaze Mermaidz, and we just are not used to it because, again, we're used to the fast and quick paced release of Rainbow High and OMG dolls. So that might not have to be that doesn't have to signify that it's getting canceled. Maybe there's just fewer, releases so far. That could just be a fact. And then the slumber party line is pushed to fall. So yeah, the slumber party line was actually first leaked. You could actually see one of the dolls on the salon playset, the box. So I think they should have released a while ago, honestly. So them getting pushed back again to this year fall is definitely not a good sign. It just shows you that they're not ready to release them yet for whatever reason, even though, again, the doll and the packaging looks fully executed and she looks fully complete. It's the with the pigtails, so she looks great. So I don't know why they're pushing it to fall, unless it is also just a cover up because they're not going to release them at all. Then the miniature dolls, the sirens, have been canceled. The tweens versions of the Mermaze Mermaidz, basically, they have been canceled, unfortunately. And they did look really interesting, but I also feel like Mermaze Mermaidz is too new of a brand to kind of tap into the miniature version trope. You know what I mean? So maybe they should just keep at the new collections, and also exploring the new characters, and just not have too much stuff in its plate, and just keep it straightforward and simple, and don't overcomplicate things. You know what I mean? So all of these factors that they listed on the tweet could just be circumstantial, but again, the no social media activity, I think, is really the red flag here that really just shows you MGA is not putting effort into Mermaze Mermaidz anymore, and it does seem to be taking a slow downhill turn for the worst with perhaps the cancellation. So let's talk about why the dolls didn't do as well as MGA Entertainment probably hoped they would. Starting off with the first collection, and I'm just going to focus on a collection since really we only got 2 collections, the first wave and then the Winter Waves collection, and then Mora and Aura are just, separate individual special edition dolls. So the first wave, the most backlash, the thing I hear the most for series 1 is that the tails are hollow, they're cheap, and they're hard to balance, they're hard to stand, and they're not fabric, they are plastic. And so a lot of mermaid doll lovers prefer when the tails are removable and it's all fashion, like the aspect is fashion and it's not molded on, because it does take down that does take away from the ability to mix and match and to style. And that's something that Mermaid High actually did better, which did also get canceled. And wasn't that made by like Spin Master, or it wasn't made by MJ, but it was made by a different company. I can't remember, but they also got canceled. And they were also very short-lived, but they had the removable tails, and they had the fashion aspect more integrated with the clothing pieces. So it seems that it really depends, even if they have, because I feel like, let's think about Mermaze Mermaidz but with removable tails. If they had the removable tails and it was like a clothing piece, would that have made them better? Or if they had more articulation, if the tails weren't hollow, if they were maybe like a rubbery plastic, like the Barbie legs with the bend and snap gimmick, what if they could have bended at the tail, like at the knees, and if they had joints and they were still tailed and molded on, would that have made them better? Because I feel like that's something that different people have different perspectives and opinions on. So it really varies, and it definitely depends on the specific doll line. Now, something else was the price point. The first collection cost a lot of money, and it really didn't seem like you were getting a bang for your buck, since it was just one doll, a purse, one outfit, and then just that's it. Nothing else. And our first collection didn't even come with doll stands. The Winter Waves collection fixed that, thankfully, but they really didn't come with a lot in the first wave, and it really also made them harder to stand up, and because the tails, some of them were also bigger and they were hollow, like you could actually see the hollow negative space, and just so it was kind of like a miss for most people. Also, the hair was either too long, or the texture that's the hair type wasn't good, or like for instance, remember Chanel's bow just comes off immediately. Like stuff like that definitely also didn't help to sway the public's opinion in MJ's favor. And then with Winter Waves, I definitely feel like they fixed a lot of the issues. They included more fashion pieces. Each of the dolls comes with an extra jacket, and also I feel like the pieces are just more well made, and there's more effort put into the execution of the clothing pieces. And then the tails were no longer hollow, but they did have another gimmick aside for the color change feature, which I think for most people, adult collectors specifically, was kind of a miss for the first wave. Overall, people just don't really care about the color change feature, and so I feel like that's why most adult collectors that got the first wave and do not appreciate the color changing feature would have much more preferred the articulation or some kind of other feature for the tail, or removable tail, or whatever. So I feel like that's why also people have that opinion on the tail for the first wave. For Winter Waves, obviously the gimmick was the globe, the snow globe effect with the glitter and the water and the tail. which I personally really enjoy. I'm a sucker for anything like winter. I'm a sucker for anything like water globe-y looking, and I love the glitter, and it's really a nice feature. I think it just really, I like it. I don't know, I like it. I'm probably in the minority here, but I definitely like that, and that's why I got all 5 dolls. And none of the originals. That's an important factor. I feel like most people really started to get into Mermaze Mermaidz with the Winter Waves line, and again, me included, because of the winter globe effect, or also because of the better designs for the characters and the extra fashion pieces, and also they had more accessories. Each of the dolls came with a extra little booster pack, like a little accessory pack with some nail polish, like phones and purses. They came with more accessories, and they came with a doll stand as well. So I feel like for Winter Waves, they definitely tried to fix their wrongs from the previous collection, and it definitely also did better, in my opinion. I feel like they hit the nail on the mark way better with the Winter Waves collection. So it kind of is sad that right when they're starting to get what Mermaze Mermaidz is about, they might just get canceled anyways. So it really is a shame, because I feel like they're just starting now to get their footing with Mermaze Mermaidz and what they want to achieve with this doll line. Then lastly, we also should talk about the series that debuted on YouTube, and there's one season so far. There's like 20 episodes or something. There's a lot of episodes, and they all ran for like 7 minutes or less, I think. And by the way, I reacted to each episode, so if you want to see my reactions to all the episodes, check out the playlist. But basically, this season ended off on a really good note. There was a big cliffhanger. Mora, spoilers, Mora is good now, and she is embracing her, what did I call it? Oh my god, what was it? The changeling. Yeah, she's a changeling, so she can change her form, her appearance, however she wants, and so she is now embracing that side of her. And everything's great. But then the building that they're all sitting in starts to drain of color as well. It's not Mora though. This time around, it's probably the hooded figures that first came to Mora to get her to extract more of the color from the world around her. So it's probably those hooded figures that they were going to focus on next in season 2, which again, we have no news of. We don't know when or if we will get season 2, which is a real shame, because like I mentioned, the cliffhanger and the way season 1 ended was kind of strong. I think for the most part, there's a lot of episodes in season 1 that are kind of lackluster. They're kind of just, throwaway episodes just to kind of like, fill out the season. But the main plot, the main story of Mermaze Mermaidz was very intriguing. Also with the different worlds, with Winterra, and then we have Mystic City, and the backgrounds, the whole concept with the design, the cities, the mermaid people, it is really interesting. And so I definitely feel like with season 2, they could pick that up and explore more of the lore and more of the history, more of the characters, perhaps even some male Mermaze Mermaidz characters, not dolls, just characters at least, because I feel like we need variation. But so I feel like they were also just starting to find their footing with the series, with the ending, with the story, the plot. And so it would really be a shame if we would never get a season 2 to explore further the story with Mora, the hooded figures, what is going on here, and probably more secrets along the way. Because I do think, while again there's some episodes that are kind of boring and it's definitely for the kids, which is okay, the main story, the main meat of the season was pretty good, I gotta say. And we also got a sisterly bond, similarly like with Sunny and Luna from season 4, but here it was actually surprisingly done better and right, because the actual characters of Mora and Aura were fleshed out. They had more character, more personality, and even though we first got introduced to Mora as a villain, we quickly understood why she did what she did, and her reasons, and the way the world, or the way she thought the world would treat her if they knew. So I felt even though it's kind of shocking because Rainbow High had a good thing with Sunny and Luna, but they never used that bond. They never used those two characters to any of the extent. And so for Mermaze Mermaidz to come in here and swoop in here and take that trope of the sisterly bond and actually do it right with Mora and Aura kind of surprises me. I would not have expected that. And at the end they make up, and it is really beautiful. And again, I'm shocked, but I would really love to see them explore the relationship further in season 2, which again I hope still gets made. Overall, I think Mermaze Mermaidz had a rocky start with the first wave and some of the episodes in season 1, but I think overall with the dolls and with the season ending, I think they really were starting to get their footing in on what Mermaze Mermaidz is as a doll brand. So I hope they don't cancel it, because I feel like there's a lot of potential here for future dolls and for future seasons. But again, let's just see what MJ Entertainment does, because the no social media activity is definitely a red flag and does not look good. Yeah, it could be either way. I definitely feel like MJ, they might want to cut their ties with Mermaze Mermaidz and just cancel it, but maybe they're also just taking a break. I don't know. It only has been 2 months. It hasn't been like a year. So let's see what happens in future weeks. Maybe there will be an update. I really hope they don't cancel it, because again, like I mentioned, I feel like there's a lot of potential here that they did not even tap into with the first waves of dolls and season 1. So I feel like there's so much potential here with the lore and the dolls and the designs. But I guess really only time will tell what MGA decides to do with Mermaze Mermaidz. That was the video. I hope y'all enjoyed. Leave a like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you haven't already, so you don't miss out when I post more content like this coming your way daily and keeping you up to date with all the doll tea you love. Stay safe, be kind. I hope this next time, stay peachy. Kisses.